Ever feel your legs growing heavier or weaker with each passing year? Maybe it's harder to climb stairs or enjoy a simple stroll through the park. Most folks blame aging, but after 30 years as a family doctor, I know the real culprits often hide right in your kitchen pantry. Today, we'll uncover 5 common foods secretly robbing you of your mobility and strength. Stick with me. Staying independent starts with what's on your dinner plate. If you're ready to stand tall, please comment yes below. Number 1. Processed sugar, the sweet deceiver. Many of us have a deeply rooted habit. It is a comforting habit. You might stir a couple of teaspoons of white sugar into your morning coffee. You might enjoy a sweet pastry with your afternoon tea. Perhaps you reach for a slice of pie after dinner. These small treats feel like a well-earned reward after a long day. However, as your doctor and your friend, I must tell you a difficult truth. That sweetness is acting like a silent saboteur inside your body. When you consume processed sugar, you are not just taking in empty calories, you are lighting a fire of inflammation. Think of inflammation like rust on a car. In your body, sugar creates a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation. This inflammation attacks your joints and your muscles. It makes your tissues stiff. It makes your movements rigid. Scientific research from places like Harvard Medical School shows that high sugar intake is directly linked to increased pain in the knees and hips. Why does this happen so much more as we age? It is because of a biological process called insulin resistance. When we were younger, our bodies were like efficient machines. They could process sugar quickly, but now, the gatekeeper of our cells, which is insulin, becomes tired. It becomes less effective. This means the sugar stays in your bloodstream longer. It damages your blood vessels. More importantly, it starves your muscles. When your cells cannot process energy correctly, your muscles begin to wither. This is the root cause of why your legs feel heavy. It is why you feel like you are walking through mud every single morning. You might recognize these symptoms in your own life. Do you ever feel a strange heaviness in your thighs? Do you feel a persistent aching in your joints that seems to get worse after a big meal? Maybe you experience brain fog or a sudden drop in energy an hour after breakfast. These are the telltale signs of sugar toxicity. On the other hand, a lack of the right nutrients leads to weakness. Sugar displaces the healthy proteins and minerals your legs need to stay sturdy. Your bones become brittle. Your muscle fibers become thin and weak. The scientific proof is undeniable. Studies have shown that seniors who consume high amounts of added sugar have a much higher risk of developing sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is the medical term for the loss of muscle mass. Without muscle, you lose your balance. When you lose your balance, the risk of a fall increases dramatically. A single fall can change your life forever. I want you to take a stand today. Please, stop reaching for that white sugar. Stop buying the colorful boxes of processed cookies. Check the labels on your bread and your sauces. You will be shocked at how much hidden sugar is tucked away in your pantry. It is time to throw away the foods that are stealing your freedom. Instead, let us look at the beautiful solutions nature provides. Real, whole food is your best medicine. If you crave something sweet, look toward berries. Blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries are like little packages of health. They contain natural sugars, but they also provide fiber and antioxidants. These antioxidants actually go into your joints and help put out the fire of inflammation. They help repair the damage that processed sugar has caused over the years. Let me tell you about a patient of mine named Mary. Mary lives in a quiet neighborhood in Orlando, Florida. For years, Mary loved her sweet tea and her morning donuts. She started noticing that she could no longer walk her dog around the block without her knees throbbing in pain. She felt old. She felt defeated. We sat down together and made one simple change. We removed the processed sugar and replaced her treats with fresh fruit and a little bit of raw honey. Within just 3 weeks, Mary called me. She told me the heaviness in her legs was lifting. She felt a lightness she had not felt in a decade. Mary did not need a miracle drug. She just needed to stop feeding the inflammation. So, here is your practical goal for today. Tomorrow morning, try drinking your coffee or tea black, or perhaps use just a tiny bit of stevia or cinnamon for flavor. If you feel that afternoon slump, reach for a handful of cold grapes or a small apple instead of a candy bar. Start small, but start today. Your legs have carried you through a long and beautiful life. Give them the fuel they deserve so they can carry you for many more miles. Please, comment on the word sweet in the section below if you are ready to give up just one sugary treat today to save your strength. Number 2. Deep fried and fast foods, the silent enemy of your circulation. We all understand the temptation. You are driving home after a busy afternoon with the grandkids or running errands around town. You see the bright, glowing signs of a fast food restaurant. It is convenient. It is affordable. The smell of golden French fries and crispy fried chicken is almost impossible to resist. These foods often remind us of happy summer barbecues or quick family treats. But as your doctor, I see these foods differently. I see them as a recipe for stiff joints and dangerously poor blood flow. When these foods are deep fried, they are soaked in oils containing trans fats. These fats are some of the most inflammatory substances you can put in your body. They do not just stay in your stomach. They travel through your entire bloodstream. They cause a slow, dangerous buildup in your arteries. For my friends over the age of 60, this is especially concerning. As we get older, our blood vessels naturally lose some of their elasticity. They are not as flexible as they used to be. Adding greasy fast food to the mix is like pouring thick sludge into a narrow pipe. It slows everything down and makes your heart work twice as hard. This leads to symptoms you might be feeling in your own life right now. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night because of a sharp, painful cramp in your calf? Or perhaps you notice your feet always feel cold, even when you are wearing thick wool socks. These are not just signs of aging. They are clear signals that your leg muscles are starving for oxygen. When your circulation is poor, your muscles cannot get the nutrients they need to stay strong and flexible. Your legs begin to feel heavy and tired, like you are wearing lead boots just to walk across the living room. The scientific proof is quite shocking. Every single time you eat a heavy, greasy meal, your blood vessels constrict for several hours. But there is another burden these foods place on your body. Fast food is incredibly calorie-dense. It leads to rapid weight gain. Here is a number I want you to remember. Scientific data shows that for every 1 pound of extra weight you carry, your knees feel 4 pounds of pressure with every step you take. If you gain just 10 pounds, your knees are struggling under 40 extra pounds of force. This is how cartilage wears away. This is why walking becomes a chore instead of a pleasure. I want to tell you about a neighbor of mine named Robert. Robert is 72 years old. He used to love his weekly trips to the local fried chicken shop. He started complaining that he could not stand in his wood shop for more than 15 minutes without his legs aching and feeling weak. He thought his days of building birdhouses were over. We decided to make a change together. We put away the fast food menus. Robert started using an air fryer at home. He began using heart-healthy olive oil instead of cheap vegetable oils. Within just 2 months, Robert was back in his shop. He told me the heavy feeling was gone. He felt like he had his old legs back. It is time to make that change for yourself. Stop sitting in those drive-through lines. Please, throw away those frozen boxes of fried snacks in your freezer. Your mobility and your independence are worth much more than a quick, greasy meal. Instead, start embracing a different way of cooking. You can still enjoy a satisfying crunch without the danger. Use an air fryer to make your own potatoes at home. Drizzle them with a little bit of high-quality extra virgin olive oil. Bake your chicken with delicious herbs and savory spices. These small shifts keep your blood flowing and your weight in check. You will feel the lightness in your steps. You will feel the strength returning to your thighs. You are choosing freedom over convenience. You are choosing to keep moving forward with confidence. Please, comment on the word strong in the section below if you are ready to protect your circulation and your strength today. Number 3. Processed meats, the muscle destroyer. Think about a typical day in your kitchen. Perhaps you are making a quick ham and cheese sandwich for lunch. Maybe you are frying up some sizzling, crispy bacon to go with your eggs on a Sunday morning. Or maybe you enjoy a hot dog at a family barbecue in the backyard. These foods are part of our American culture. They are easy to find, they are cheap, and they are very convenient for a quick meal. However, as your doctor and someone who cares about your future, I have to tell you that these meats are a hidden danger to your physical strength. Processed meats like deli ham, sausages, bacon, and pepperoni are packed with chemical additives. Specifically, they contain high amounts of nitrates and nitrites. These chemicals are used to preserve the meat and keep it looking red, but inside your body, they trigger a heavy inflammatory response. When you eat these regularly, you are keeping your muscle tissues in a constant state of irritation. This inflammation acts like a slow poison for your muscle fibers. It breaks them down and prevents them from staying firm and strong. For my friends who are over the age of 60, this is a serious problem. As we age, we all face a challenge called sarcopenia. This is just a medical way of saying that we naturally lose muscle mass every year. To fight this, our bodies need high-quality, clean protein to rebuild our strength, but processed meats do the exact opposite. The high sodium and chemical load in a simple deli sandwich actually blocks your body from absorbing the good nutrients it needs. It is like trying to build a house with rotten wood. Your body cannot use this low-quality protein to maintain your leg muscles. You might notice the symptoms of this in your daily life. Do your legs ever feel like jello when you try to stand up from your favorite armchair? Do you find that your thigh muscles feel soft and loose, even if you try to stay active? Maybe you get tired very quickly when you're walking through the grocery store. This is not just because of your age. It is because your muscles are inflamed and undernourished. When you eat processed meats, you are inviting weakness into your foundation. You are making it harder for your legs to carry you safely. The scientific proof is very clear on this matter. Extensive studies have shown that people who rely on processed meats have a significantly higher risk of muscle wasting and physical frailty. This loss of strength leads to a higher chance of falling, which can lead to broken hips and a loss of your independence. But the good news is that when you provide your body with clean, whole protein, your muscles can actually begin to recover. Even at 70 or 80 years old, your body is still capable of repair if you give it the right materials. I want you to take action today for the sake of your mobility. Stop buying the prepackaged deli meats at the store. Stop reaching for the frozen sausages and the bacon strips. I want you to walk past that section of the grocery store and never look back. Your health is worth so much more than a quick sandwich. Check the labels on every package. If you see the words nitrates or nitrites, put them back on the shelf. You are choosing to protect your muscles. You are choosing to stay upright and strong. Instead, let us talk about the wonderful role of real, whole food. Your body craves protein that is simple and natural. When you eat fresh chicken breast, roasted turkey, or a beautiful piece of wild-caught salmon, you are giving your muscles the building blocks they need. These foods are full of the amino acids that help you maintain your balance and your endurance. They do not cause the inflammation that processed meats do. They provide a steady source of energy that keeps your legs moving and your spirit high. I want to share the story of a patient of mine named George. George is 68 years old and lives in a quiet town in Ohio. George loved his deli sandwiches. He ate them every single day for lunch. He started noticing that he could no longer stand through a whole church service without his legs feeling heavy and weak. He felt like he was losing his spark. George and I decided to make a change. He swapped his processed deli meat for grilled chicken and fresh fish. Within just 1 month, George came back to see me with a big smile. He told me that his legs felt sturdy again. He was back to walking 2 miles every morning. George found his strength by changing what he put on his plate. So, here is your practical solution for this week. Instead of buying deli meat, roast a whole chicken or a turkey breast on Sunday. Slice it up and use that for your sandwiches during the week. It tastes better, it is cheaper in the long run, and it will keep your muscles healthy and strong. You have worked hard your whole life, and you deserve to enjoy your retirement with a body that can still take you wherever you want to go. Please, comment the word strong in the section below if you are ready to give up processed meats and start building real muscle today. Number 4. High-sodium foods, the calcium thief. We all have a habit of reaching for the salt. It is a comforting ritual. We sprinkle it over our morning eggs. We stir it into our hearty stews. But even more dangerous than the shaker on your table is the hidden salt found in processed foods. Think about those canned soups sitting in your pantry. On a cold or busy day, they are so convenient. You just heat them and eat. But many of those cans contain nearly an entire day's worth of sodium in just one serving. For your physical strength and your bone health, this is a heavy price to pay. When you take in too much sodium, your body enters a state of crisis. Sodium attracts water. It is like a powerful magnet. When there is too much salt in your bloodstream, your body pulls water into your veins and your tissues to try to balance things out. This creates a massive amount of internal pressure. It is like trying to force too much water through a garden hose. This extra fluid does not just stay in your blood, it leaks into your tissues, causing painful swelling and making your heart work much harder than it should. As we move into our senior years, our kidneys undergo a natural change. They are the filtration system of our body. Think of them like the air filter in your car. After decades of hard work, they are simply not as efficient as they once were. They struggle to filter out the excess salt. This means that a meal that did not bother you at age 40 can cause a major problem at age 70. The salt lingers in your system longer, keeping your blood pressure high and your tissues inflamed. This is a primary reason why many seniors feel a constant sense of fatigue and heaviness. You likely recognize these symptoms in your own daily life. Have you ever noticed that your ankles look puffy after a long day of standing or walking? Do your shoes feel tight or uncomfortable by the time evening rolls around? This is a condition called edema. It makes every step feel laborious, but there is a hidden symptom that is even more dangerous. High sodium intake actually causes your body to leach calcium from your bones. Your body flushes the calcium out through your urine because it is trying to get rid of the salt. This leaves your bones brittle, weak, and thin. You might feel a deep aching in your legs or a strange sense of fragility in your frame. The scientific proof is quite clear on this matter. Researchers have found a direct and dangerous link between high salt intake and significant bone density loss in older adults. This process leads directly to osteoporosis. When your bones are weak, a simple trip or a minor slip can lead to a devastating fracture. A hip fracture is one of the greatest threats to the independence of a senior. It can lead to months of hospital stays and a permanent loss of mobility. By eating too much salt, you are literally flushing your skeletal strength down the drain. I want to tell you about a patient of mine named Arthur. Arthur is a retired veteran I know who lives in Virginia. Arthur loved his canned pea soup. He ate it almost every day for lunch because it was easy and it tasted like home. But Arthur started complaining that his legs felt like lead. He told me that his ankles were so swollen that he could no longer wear his favorite walking shoes. He was worried he was losing his ability to get around. We took a look at those soup cans and realized he was consuming a massive amount of sodium. We decided to stop the canned soups and the extra salt immediately. I want you to make a promise to your bones today. Stop buying those high-sodium canned soups and frozen dinners. Stop adding extra salt to your eggs and your vegetables. Take the salt shaker off the table and put it in the back of the cabinet. You must be a detective when you go to the grocery store. Read every label. If a serving has more than 500 milligrams of sodium, put it back on the shelf. You are choosing to keep your bones strong. You are choosing to keep your ankles light and your heart healthy. Food should be flavorful, not salty. Nature has given us incredible ways to season our meals without the danger. I want you to start using fresh herbs like rosemary, thyme, and oregano. Use garlic and onions to create a savory depth. A simple squeeze of fresh lemon juice or a splash of vinegar can brighten a dish more than salt ever could. These natural ingredients do not cause swelling. In fact, many herbs like rosemary have anti-inflammatory properties that help your joints feel better. You can have delicious gourmet meals that actually nourish your body instead of harming it. Within just 2 weeks of making this change, Arthur saw a miracle. The swelling in his ankles disappeared. He could tie his shoes again. He told me that his legs felt light and he had more energy to work in his rose garden. He was no longer peeing away his bone strength. Arthur reclaimed his mobility by simply changing his seating. You can do the same thing. It is a simple, free, and powerful way to protect your future. Please, comment the word healthy in the section below if you are ready to protect your bones and your mobility by cutting back on salt today. Number 5. Refined carbohydrates, the energy drainer. For many of us, white bread, refined pasta, and flour tortillas are daily staples. They are soft, they are easy to chew, and they feel like a warm hug from our childhood. But as your doctor, I have to tell you that these refined grains have been stripped of their heart and their soul. During processing, the fiber and the vitamins are removed, leaving behind a food that acts exactly like pure sugar inside your body. When you eat a sandwich on white bread, your blood sugar spikes almost instantly. We call this a high glycemic index. But this energy is a lie. It is a flash of heat that burns out far too quickly, followed by a dramatic crash that leaves your leg muscles exhausted. As we move through our senior years, our muscle fibers require a slow and steady supply of energy to keep us upright and balanced. Refined carbohydrates do the opposite. They flood the system and then vanish, leaving your muscles starving for real fuel. This cycle causes chronic inflammation and accelerates muscle wasting. You might recognize this in your own life. Do your legs ever feel shaky or like jello after a big lunch? Do you feel like you have zero stamina or endurance by the middle of the afternoon? This is not just a sign of age. It is a sign that your muscles are running out of gas because of the carb on your plate. The scientific proof is quite clear. Research shows that seniors who choose whole grains over refined grains have significantly better muscle mass and a lower risk of suffering a dangerous fall. I want you to take action today. Please, stop buying white bread at the grocery store. Throw away the refined white pasta in your pantry. You are choosing to protect your strength. You are choosing to keep your legs sturdy and reliable for all the miles ahead. Instead, let us look at the wonderful role of whole, natural foods. Your body thrives on slow-burning fuel. When you choose whole wheat bread, brown rice, quinoa, or old-fashioned oats, you are giving your muscles the fiber and B vitamins they crave. These foods release energy gradually, which helps maintain your balance and your strength from morning until night. Real food is your best defense against the weakness that leads to a loss of independence. I want to tell you about a lovely lady named Elizabeth who lives in Texas. Elizabeth is 74 years old. She used to feel so tired and shaky after her lunch that she had to lie down for a nap every single day. She felt like her legs were giving out on her. We made one simple change. Elizabeth swapped her white sandwich bread for sprouted grain bread and her white rice for quinoa. Within just 1 month, Elizabeth told me she felt a surge of new energy. Now, Elizabeth walks 2 miles every single morning through her neighborhood. She regained her stamina and her freedom by simply choosing the right kind of fuel for her body. You can make this same choice today. Switch to whole grains and feel the strength returning to your legs. You deserve to move through the world with confidence and ease. Please, comment on the word stamina in the section below if you are ready to choose whole grains for a stronger and more active future. Your legs are your foundation, neighbors. They have carried you through a lifetime of beautiful memories. By choosing whole, natural foods over processed traps, you are not just eating, you are investing in your freedom. In the comments below, please tell me one small change you will make this week. If this message helped you, join our family by subscribing. Share this with someone who needs to stand a little taller today. Stay strong, always.